this is the best day of my entire life because they just showed off a ton of Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 and a completely new remake for Crisis Core, which is just completely bonkers. But let's do some reactions and dig into what's really going on. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and I am a Final Fantasy addict. I love FF7 specifically. I've beaten the original FF7 over 100 times. I've got the platinum trophies and all the versions of Final Fantasy VII, both original and remake. I mean, seriously, I love it. I even have a Buster Sword in real life. So when I say I'm hyped for the remake part 2, that is a drastic understatement. Well, today they did this stream that was called the Final Fantasy VII 25th Anniversary, and in it they announced that they're doing a different style of remake for cell phones, where this is called Ever Crisis. Now, I'll be honest, I actually think this looks pretty cool. It's very, very different. Obviously, we see people in very different outfits inside of this, like what is Aerith wearing? But here's the real juicy part. Scrolling down a bit, Crisis Core has been completely rebuilt. Now, Crisis Core is a very important part of the Final Fantasy VII timeline. This is the predecessor to Cloud named Zack. It's where the Buster Sword comes from. And honestly, these graphics seem to be completely rebuilt. Every single part of this looks like new character models. It sounds like the music has been retooled. Like, this is basically a brand new game. Now, additionally, as crazy as it is to see freaking Genesis here, this entire thing is just absolutely melting my brain. Project Genesis. Now, they did say that it's going to be called Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, and it's coming out to all consoles this winter. Now, I'm actually a bit of a mega lover for Crisis Core. I know it gets a lot of hate because, well, quite frankly, the story is kind of weird and loopy, but I enjoy that. I think I like the weird anime villain-esque that they've managed to build into this game. But here's the part of it that really kind of oh my god, I'm losing it. This is a trailer for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, which is being called Rebirth. Now, they really talk a lot about how the past cannot be changed, but we can alter the future. And yet this begins with the flashback sequence from Final Fantasy VII. This is straight up when Sephiroth and Cloud are doing the Nibelheim mission. It's crazy to actually see it. Now, straight off the cuff, it does seem like they want to try and do some sort of alternate timeline business. As you can see here, this is actually Zack and Cloud surviving their trip to Midgar, whereas instead, obviously, Zack is supposed to... So does this mean there's going to be two separate timelines? It does seem like it. This is completely bonkers. They actually allude to maybe being able to perceive the other timelines. It sounds like maybe in one timeline, Aerith is already dead, or in another timeline, maybe some of these characters are stronger or more villainous. Now, the name Rebirth definitely... Oh my god, it's coming next winter! Oh god, I'm so ready for it. The name Rebirth definitely strikes me as something like trying to rebuild the current timeline to what we know. The ending of Final Fantasy VII, as bleak as it is in its own way a happy ending. It is the world being saved. Now, here is definitely what freaks me out the most and definitely gets me the most excited. I have been perpetually curious as to how many Final Fantasy VII remakes they're actually going to make, because the first game only covered Midgar, and that's only in the original game. That was the first 3 hours of a 20-hour game. So were we supposed to expect 5 parts or 7 parts? They have now confirmed the Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be a trilogy. First game being called Remake, second game being called Rebirth, and I assume the third game is probably going to be called Revenge as we finally hunt down Sephiroth. Now, to me, all of this is incredibly cool. I'm seriously going to rewatch this trailer like 900 times. And additionally, I can't help but just be completely blown away by the fact that they are just putting so much work into Crisis Core. I was replaying Crisis Core just a couple days ago on my PSP. The game still plays incredibly well. The game is still incredibly flashy and bright and cool. I'm just stunned that they're actually doing it. They're really going to do this. Personally, I'm even going to play Ever Crisis because it's a great excuse to play other versions of Final Fantasy VII. All of this is intensely great. God, I'm still just like... This is everything I've always wanted. This is just so beautiful. It looks like they're really trying to go more creative with the artistic. Like, one of the things I was hoping was that there would be a little bit of open worldness with Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, because we're no longer stuck in Midgar. It does kind of seem like it. It does kind of seem like the chains are off. We are going to get a chance to see and do and go wherever we want. God, I'm already imagining the third part. How bad is it that I just saw the newest trailer and already I'm just imagining what the heck part 3 is going to be? Well, this is just a short little video because honestly, I have to get to a birthday party. In fact, I'm supposed to be there already, but I'm being a bad friend because I wanted to watch this. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for all the love, and thank you so much to freaking Katase for the crazy hype reveal. You guys rock. Have a great day, and please keep dreaming. Also, subscribe. I'm definitely going to be reviewing that Final Fantasy Crisis Core remake, by the way. Yes, absolutely. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.